Hey everyone, it's Wally Dellenbach with Of All Things on Automotive Repair. And basically, this is I had a check engine light that came on my 2011 Ford Edge 3.5 liter V6 and got a little bit nervous. I don't like looking at check engine lights when I'm driving back and forth from work. So I got a little bit proactive about it and thought I'd have to change some things out. So I fortunately have a friend who came over with a computer and he checked it for me, and I got a vacuum error code out of it. So I started basically watching some YouTube videos. How this all kind of started was I'd step on the gas pedal, like do a stomp on that pedal to get going, and it seemed like we'd kind of like not get gas or not have air in it. So that kind of went along with the vacuum error code, I guess, if you will. So I started here at the tank, watched a YouTube video about how this is a capless fill. I started there with cleaning that according to the video for a 2011 Ford Edge 3.5 liter V6. Pretty easy. Buy yourself some WD-40 in the fill nozzle for a capless fill, and watch that video and follow that. But that didn't solve the problem. So let's go ahead and go back here to the engine. And my next step was to come over and change the air filter. That neither of these two things solved the problem. I took them out for a test drive after I did this, and I step on the pedal and I still got the chugging a little bit. It just like would chug a few times and then straighten up or recover out of it. So that didn't solve the problem. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and look at changing the plugs. So this is what changing the plug looks like on this 3.5 V6. And boy, it was a little bit, it was more time consuming than it was complicated, thanks to some really solid YouTube content providers. There's one video in particular that the guy did a really good job. He was set up and knew what he was talking about. He was wearing some black neoprene gloves, if that's how you can identify with the video. I don't remember the video name or who the content provider, what his handle was, but anyway, he did a really good job, and so I knew what I was in for. And that's kind of why I watch the YouTube videos. I'm not an automotive mechanic by no means, but I know my way around a toolbox, and that sure helps when it comes to saving money like this. So I'm in the throes of changing the plugs right now. I've got the front three changed. That was no problem. Of course, I had to remove the air intake manifold to get to the back. The plugs here in the back, you can see, I think that's the number 3 right there. I've got that one taken off, and it's right here in front of us. Here's the plug that I took out of it. This is at 80,000 miles. That's the original Motorcraft. Whoops, sorry about that. That's the original plug. I'm sure that came with the vehicle. Motorcraft plug. And so there's a plug at 80,000 miles. Nothing really too scary, but it's worn enough, I think, to warrant changing the plugs. At 80,000 miles, you can go for it. So here's the new plug. I've got some anti-seize lubricant on it. This is my third take of this. I kept calling it the dielectric grease, but this is anti-seize on it. You don't want to get too crazy with this stuff because you don't want to foul up the plug by no means. So I put a little splotch of it right there, and then come back and did 180 degrees from that. In fact, I'll probably wipe some of that off. I don't want to get too carried away with it. Like I said, you don't want to foul your plug up and then wind up having to do this job a second time. So, gosh, if I haven't said already, I've got a, what do we call this? My purge valve right here. So I bought one of those. I'm going to change that. Here it is up here on the air intake manifold. We'll change that out. My PCV valve right there. And that's just the oxygen sensor I'm going to leave alone. I didn't want to buy that from an automotive parts supply company. I'd rather get that from Ford. Just because I hear there's a lot of trouble, but so I'm going to go with advice, practical sound advice from good solid mechanics that I know. So anyway, basically that's it in a nutshell. It's going pretty good. I've not had any trouble yet. I did have a towel, of course, over this, so don't drop any tools down in there because that would be a big catastrophe. But anyway, so that's basically the job in the nutshell. I'm putting it all together right now, and I don't anticipate any big problems or the engine light coming on, but if it does, I'll be sure to make another video. Thanks for watching, and I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.